Hello, everybody. This is a Lighthouse Hall of Fame film and a cool comeback cinema. With his initial entry into the Hall of Fame, congratulations to Kingbadshah from the European server. In his AMX ELC BIS, we are in mine standard mode from the south spawn this time. There's 2 lights on the enemy team and just 1 on his. 5 heavies on both teams, and the enemy team has 4 TDs and 2 mediums. He has 3 TDs and 3 mediums. Overall, teams are fairly equal because mobility-wise, the extra light counterbalances the extra medium. As always, whoever controls the middle usually wins the fight. In this case, he starts off having to go around the heavy at the beginning. A lot of times ELCs don't try to go into the middle in the beginning because with their limited turret movement, it's hard to get shots as you go in and get in that initial burst of gunplay. So he's going to pull up here. Misses his first shot. That's one of very few that he misses this battle. Get a great flanking shot on the T-3485 as it pulls in. Now, if you're watching, only 1 heavy's coming up here to help fight for the entrance. The 3 other heavies are going over to the west, and another one's going to the east. So the heavies are kind of playing this weird. It's going to be Cromwell against T-3485 for possession of the mine. And it looks like the Cromwell's losing the fight. So what's happening right now is they just won control of the mines, and their heavies were smart enough to come into the middle to guard the entrance, and so they have a dominating force in the middle. How long they can hold out like this, I don't know, but with 3 of his team's 5 heavies thinking they're snipers, it really creates a problem for Kingbadshah. They're down 2 tanks right now, and this is about as close as it gets till the end of the fight. There's 2 really valuable lessons to learn from this battle. And the first one's about to transpire about a minute. Oh, it just shoots to the outer side of the aiming circle and misses an easy kill. Here comes lesson number 1. When it's obvious you're going to get overwhelmed where you are, retreat. Everything that transpires in this fight in the future is made possible because he's smart enough to recognize the fact that he's going to die if he stays where he's at. And he retreats when he can. Now, he got spotted on the way out, so he's pulling up behind this building to regain concealment. And then he'll complete his retreat here once he gets invisible again. He's going to spot up in this bush and try to help out his TD, but if he had stayed up there, he would have gotten some more damage, but he would have gotten overrun eventually. Now, don't confuse that with bailing on your team when you still have a lot of fight in that position. They're in direct danger of getting overrun, so he left. If there would have been a couple other allied tanks there, that wouldn't have been the time to leave. If you bail too soon, you leave your teammates hanging and they end up dying because your gun left the fight. Only do it when you know you're going to end up dying in the near future, then get out. So he gets the kill on the KV-85, now he's going to kill the T-150. Hellcat off in the distance. A-20's trying to wrap in around here on the eastern flank, so he's going to set up in a bush here. Wait for him to come in and probably get a good flanking shot. The A-20 for some reason didn't realize he was here. Doesn't even pay him any attention. He dies because of it. Watch that minimap, guys. The A-20 should have known he was lurking back there. He was spotted before. And now with the heavies over to the west, he's going to guard the approach from the east to spot the Hellcat here. Going to take 2 more hits to kill that guy. He gets spotted, so he has to back up. Looks like his heavies are in the process of completely dying. They're down 4 tanks now. 5 tanks. He's going to get a shot behind. He's kind of caught right now because he has at least 3 tanks flanking in from this side. The Hellcat ahead of him. He's going to have to finish off here. He moves forward because he knows he can't afford to sit there and wait. The Hellcat misses, so he gets a free kill here. And now he's going to run. The heavy and 2 mediums are coming in this way, so he's trying to get enough distance to where he can hopefully get in a standoff situation where he can spot them and shoot without them seeing him. They're down 4 tanks, just the Hummel and him. T-3485 is going in on, let's see if he chases him or the Hummel. Looks like he's coming after him, but the Skoda's going after the Hummel. And the Hummel took out the T-3485. That was great. That 1 kill really makes a big difference. Now it's him against 5 enemy. There's the Wolverine. Not knowing how to traverse his tank to help his turret movement. This guy's pretty lethargic here. He has to kill him before he makes a break to defend base, or the guy will shoot him in his butt. So there's 2 capping, 34 seconds to go, and here comes the second big lesson of this fight. And that is, make up your mind. Either go and kill the tank you want to kill, or if you're going to cap, hide. Don't sit out there in the open like this KV-2 is. Eight seconds from a win, and he gets reset. And killed, and now the Skoda stays on cap and doesn't try to find anything to hide behind. Especially against a tank with limited TD movement, you want to force him to come to you and have to turn in order to shoot you. And the Skoda makes no attempt to do that. And now, 7 kills, and it's him 1-on-2 against 2 artillery. If he had used the KV-2 for cover, he would have forced Kingbadshah to try to pick him off, and that would have given the Skoda the advantage in the fight. And he just never recognized what was there and ready to use. He just didn't do it. But the big thing is, if they would have stayed behind a bush or something back there, they were 8 seconds away. They would have won the fight. They were hoping to get damage. Trying to get damage at the end of a fight many times causes a team to lose. And I think they were thinking, well, we force him to come to us and we'll be able to kill him, but it's like, dudes, he has the view range on you. He can shoot and scoot and take you out, and you'll never get to shoot him. You have to recognize not only the situation geographically, but the tactical situation and advantage different tanks have. What are your strengths against the guy remaining in the fight? If he has the view range advantage, probably not a good idea to sit out in the open and force him to come to you, because his rounds are going to come to you before you ever see his tank. They failed to recognize that, and they're both dead, and now they're in the process of losing a fight that they had an easy win in hand. They just didn't close the door on him. Now he's trying to be cautious in his approach. The artillery most likely is in a bush somewhere. If they are, he's going to have a hard time seeing them before they get a shot at him. The 304 may be out and about, but you're pretty certain the M37 is either here on Sniper Hill in a bush, back here in this bush, which is where I would be, or back here behind the rock. And there's the 304 up in the mines area. Now he has no idea where the AMX is, so Kingbadshah has a little bit of an advantage here. He knows where his enemy is, and the enemy doesn't know where he is. That's really a huge advantage. There's a bush right up here on the edge of this rock that you can use to spot. Hopefully get a shot. One more kills him. He gets spotted, he'll back up and use the cliff for cover. Oh, and there's the M37 out behind the rock. Now he's going to pull up and hopefully get a kill here. 304 hasn't recognized what's happening here. And now he knows where the last party is. This is a bit of a problem. Especially for him without a turret. He's going to have to go in and expose himself if he goes after him. But really, what you do right now is cap. Cap and force the guy to come out. Instead of going to him, you got plenty of time to cap and force the guy to come around the edge of the rock to set up cap to where you can shoot him when he peeks around the edge. And he's really not the best position right here because he wants to be able to see the guy when he comes out around the rock, and from here he can't. And I think he just realized that. And so he's repositioning to where he can see the corner of the rock. That's where he needs to be. Okay, here we go. Bam. Kill. And the win. And for this battle, 2,956 damage and 9 kills. 16 of 18 shooting for 89%. And that was after missing his first shot. He went 17 of 18. 8 gigantic points of assisted damage. That by itself probably won the fight. And he got 6 spots, earned 25,724 credits, got 42 points of cap, which he was really not trying to get a cap victory. He's trying to force that arty out around the corner, and it worked great. 100 points of cap defense. He was awarded 2,498 XP, survived the fight, got a Kolobanov medal, Radley-Walters, Top Gun, High Caliber, and a Defender. Along with Bruiser, Fire for Effect mini medals, he gets a battle score of 2,648. Puts him in the 19th place on the AMX ELC BIS list. And like I said, there's 2 big lessons here. First of all, before we even get to those again, because he's the ELC, he chose not to charge into the center of the mine. Really at a disadvantage against the lights and mediums there because you have to rotate your turret, and if you get in a shootout, it's hard to survive. So he chose to start off as a TD type tank and shoot into the area of up in here into the entrance, and it worked out well for him. Unfortunately, not a lot of tanks joined him, and so that brought up important point number 1, which is if you're in an untenable position, bail before you die. If possible, get out of dodge before the enemy overruns you, because if you stay alive to fight on into the battle, good things like this sometimes happen, where he ends up being the total star on the team and securing a win against all odds. If he would have stayed there and tried to duke it out, he would have lost, and the team probably would have lost because of it. And as I said, that doesn't mean desert your teammates when they're still fighting. As long as you can do damage without risk of taking damage back, stay there and help your team out. Get as much damage as you can before you have to bail, but then bail in time that you don't die. And then the second thing is They had two people capping back here. I know there's not a lot of cover and stuff up here, but there are ways to position yourself to where there is concealment. And there is that bunker over there, that pillbox, where if you end up way behind it, that at least puts you in a haul down position for somebody way coming in from this side. And they didn't do that. 8 seconds away from a win, and they end up losing the fight because they both sat out in the open, apparently thinking, well, we're going to force him to come to us and we'll get to kill him when he does. But maybe against a heavy that works. Against a tank with superior view range, it's a horrible idea. Recognize the situation on the battlefield and between the tanks that you have matchup wise, and do what you have to do to get a win. And they didn't do it, and they paid a heavy price for it because they died and they lost. And then at the very end, he managed to see the FB304, knowing there's a bush right here that he come in and spot and get a shot without being seen. Did it twice in a row, and then at the end, he can't really, with this tank, go in. Probably with any tank, it would have been a bad idea to try to go into the rock back there and kill the TD, because it's, I mean, the Artie, it's almost impossible for it to miss. It just has to splash damage you. So he did it the right way. Set up on cap, force the Artie to come out and expose himself, and that allows you to get the game-winning kill from Mine Standard South. Again, congratulations to Kingbadshah for joining the Hall of Fame in spectacular fashion and getting a cool comeback video as well. Happy hunting.